cash flow is everything for an e-commerce business, and I just wanted to make sure that you all just have a high level primer type video about what cash flow should look like for your business, why it's important, and ultimately think of this as like a cash flow 101. I've seen a lot of videos out there around helping Shopify store owners, just like I do, who are trying to break that $1 million mark, but they don't really teach them about cash flow. And I think it's important to learn at a base level when you're just getting started, even if you don't have tons of sales yet. And in this video, I'm going to break down, just like I do on all these videos, how you as a Shopify store owner trying to break your first $1 million a year on Shopify can manage your cash flow. And that's really all we talk about here, is helping these Shopify store owners who are on their road to breaking their first $1 million a year to do that. So I'm going to get into like what is cash flow, kind of how it works, and ultimately you'll leave this video understanding a little bit more about how to think about cash flow in your business so that you can create offers and run marketing that is actually going to drive your business forward because of the cash it creates, not just the revenue that it shows. My name is Joe Chavez. If this is your first time to this channel, welcome. And I do this 5-day challenge as well for anyone who's doing over $5,000 a month on Shopify already. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one for 5 days for free, go ahead and apply by hitting the link down below. Or if I'm just in your headphones and you're doing something around the house, that's doublemyecommerce.com/challenge. Once again, it's doublemyecommerce.com/challenge. If you're looking to work with me one-on-one for 5 days for free, you can go ahead and apply below. I'll hit you up. We'll have a chat, and we'll go from there. If it makes sense, we'll do it. If not, I'll still help you. I also have a cash flow worksheet that comes in a free playbook that I give to pretty much anyone who signs up for the challenge and books a call to speak with me, because I feel like it's super helpful to have as a Shopify store owner. It's the playbook I wish I had, but it does like a week by week cash flow analysis as well. And I'd love to give that to you. So let's go ahead and hop right into it though. We will get into the video in 3, 2, 1. Hey, this is the Cash Flow Masterclass for Shopify store owners who are looking for stable growth. Welcome. My name is Joe Chavez, and this is all I do, is helping Shopify store owners who are looking to break their first million. And this is an essential one if you're looking to break your first million, is understanding Shopify's cash flow. And most founders don't fail because their product or marketing is weak. They fail because cash flow suffocates them before ever having the potential for success. And here's why cash flow is the real boss. And when I kind of look at brands and try to talk to them, and also look at my own Shopify stores that I operate, revenue isn't the engine, cash flow actually is. What actually goes in your bank is actually what you should be looking at. And lack of visibility, I've seen it all. It creates a lot of stress and anxiety, and I've experienced it. It's just not good, because if you don't have cash flow clarity, you end up making decisions based on gut feelings instead of how your business is actually doing. And here's what happens when cash flow is unclear. You make emotional decisions. You cut ad spends even when they're working. And usually I see that based on, here's why that happens. Let me explain. You will do that based on ROAS or performance or CAC inside of the platform, instead of understanding at a deep level what each of your unit economics is on your different products. And maybe you make a sale without, maybe you make, you're thinking at one time you needed a 2 ROAS. And you realize that if you were to change up your offer a little bit in the prices of your key products and the offers that you marry with those, like doing a free gift instead of % off, that you don't need the same return on ad spend anymore. But when you don't have an understanding of your actual unit economics, you may think that you still need a 2 ROAS when really you only need a 0.75 because of what your 30-day gross profit is. And there's just so many factors involved. And understanding where your cash actually is and where it's going is going to save you as an operator. You won't overhire or underhire, and you never know how much you can safely invest. And cash flow clarity is king. This gives you the ability to be able to plan, to see your financial future, and makes decisions with confidence about your business. This also gives you permission to scale, to grow aggressively without fear or running out of runway, and to see how much runway you truly have left. Also, it gives you the stability you've been missing. If you feel like you're firefighting right now in your business, and you want to be more controlled and more calm, the cash flow planning is going to help you with that. There's 3 cash flow levers that you must control, and cash flow comes down to these 3. So we have inventory timing, cash killer number 1, time inventory. So cash leaves right before sales happen, not months in advance. So early, if you get inventory early, your cash is tied up. If you get it late, you lost sales. So ideally, that's why subscription businesses are so powerful. That's why I will, I'll say knock on wood. I'll say I will always, when I acquire subscription brands, just because you can kind of look at that cash conversion cycle and know that you have cash coming in, and you spend ad dollars today, you get ROI 30 to 90 days later. If this window's too long, cash flow actually collapses, and even if you're profitable on paper, which means you can look profitable as if you're going to make up that money, but when you look at like this month, say it's January, you may have lost 20K this month, and then next month you lose another 20K. And yes, you may make it up in March, but if you do that at too high of a growth rate, and you have to also buy inventory to support that growth, and future inventory to support the demand that you're now creating, that's where you get into these cash crunches, not to mention payout timing. So Shopify, Stripe, PayPal, they're all in different pay timings, and misalignment with inventory and ad spends create constant pressure. So just so you're familiar, as you're getting into it, like your payouts, if you haven't monitored them closely, is they come in. Typically, you'll get them within 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 business days. But if you look at even on subscription, you'll find that your Shopify payouts will come before the Stripe payouts, anything running through Stripe. So Shopify is a payment processor, Stripe is a payment processor, even if they're both coming through Shopify. Same with PayPal, if people use PayPal payments. So they're all kind of on different schedules, and so this is why basically every one of those has to be reconciled, and understanding the timing of those will help you to know when you can place certain inventory buys. And ultimately what I like to get to is having a week over week cash flow plan, so I'm understanding what money's coming in when. Even if we make $1,000 in sales on week 1, is how much of that is coming on week 1 and week 2. Then maybe 500 on week 1, 500 that is week 2. And you need to plan that accordingly, so then you can buy things or let your team know. You make sure their payroll's in there. You make sure you're buying inventory on that and all of that stuff. So here's the cash flow formula. As you calculate your cash conversion cycle, how long does it take for $1 spent on inventory to return to your bank account, even if it's 90 days? You feel like there's a lot of pressure there. And if it's 30 days, scaling feels light and easy. Calculate the CAC payback window. So how long does it take for a customer to become profitable? If your payback window is shorter than your cash conversion cycle, you're safe. If it's longer, then you're in danger, even if revenue is still growing, because you're kind of always having to front that cash. So say there's 50K of money that's kind of tied up in inventory and waiting for your payback period. That's when you get into these places where then you start using credit, and now you have to be 30% more efficient, because sometimes they're charging you 30% on that debt. Even though like Shopify debts, they're saying, hey, it's just 10% of sales, but really what they're doing is they're guaranteeing that they're going to make 30% on the money that they lent you, and then you're going to pay them as 10% of sales. So it can be really risky getting into those type of loans. So just warning you, watch out for those and really read the fine print. If you're confused about any of this, feel free to book a call down below. I'm happy to have a quick chat with you and kind of walk you through what I've seen and kind of how to navigate some of your cash crunches and all of that. Next is going to be matching payout timing to your ad strategy. So if your payout is daily or weekly, you can scale faster. If it's monthly, due to delays and holds, you're going to need buffer to prevent those panic moments. And lastly, it's going to be planned inventory based on margin and payback. So when you combine contribution margin with payback time, you know exactly when you can buy inventory without suffocating your own growth. The cash flow operating system is pretty simple. It looks like a weekly cash map, like I said, looking at the 4 weeks, then looking at almost like your P&L, or like your chart of accounts, and understanding like what are the different things that need to typically get paid, and understanding when do they get paid based on weeks. You can do this in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes with just sitting down and kind of looking at and seeing, okay, what typically needs to be paid when, what's going to come out of the business and when, what's coming into the business and when, and then planning your growth based on that. Having cash buffers, which is maintaining your minimum buffer of ad spend times your payback window. So that way you can have that in the bank. And then planning like rolling inventory 6 to 12 weeks ahead with weekly adjustments to say, where are we going to need to place inventory? Let's go as far as we can based on inventory on hand and sales velocity, and understand when's the latest we can place this inventory to get to not lose sales, but to not have cash tied up in inventory. So offer engineering looks like you doing bundles, upsells, subscription bonuses, and welcome offers. And doing this will help you to increase your AOV and increase gross margin to be able to collect that on the front end. Instead of just offering 15% off, consider these things to be able to increase your AOV. And this is what I call the founder clarity window. This is 15 minutes every single week. I like doing it on Fridays in the morning, like Finance Fridays. And this allows you to drop your stress and be able to make decisions from a logical place instead of a fearful place. Because if you kind of stay in that fearful place, you're always going to be reactive, and you're going to have you won't have the breakthroughs in cash flow that you could have if you were more proactive. Now, number one is going to be stop waking up anxious, replacing that morning dread when you pop open Shopify and you're like, where are we at with the bank account? This cash flow understanding is going to help that. Number two is going to be stopping guessing. This is going to be when you make data-driven decisions and complete visibility in your cash position. Number three is going to be stop reacting. This is how you shift from firefighter mode to strategic founder mode. And lastly, you're going to achieve stability and be able to have your ads become more stable, inventory become predictable, and your bank account becomes calmer, so that you can give off the same energy to your team as you grow and scale. This is why you built this business. It's because of freedom, right? And if that is you, you've obviously wanted to, make sure that you are growing this thing aggressively. And here's something I think a lot of people get wrong is they think cash flow is being conservative. Like when I say cash flow, they picture me putting these glasses on and like shaving my head, because all CFOs have bald heads usually, the good ones at least. And that's not really the case. Like grow aggressively without blowing up is what happens, is like that you enable that when you actually have cash flow planning. You can grow aggressively without blowing up. You can feel freedom as you scale and more control, and then you can scale with confidence instead of fear, because you know where you are. And if you want to know where you are with your Shopify store and be able to have more profits and do that predictably, well, I think my 5-day predictable profits challenge, which is just for Shopify store owners who are already doing over 5K a month but have not broken $1 million a year, it's perfect for them, and that's who I've designed it for. It's a way for them to work one-on-one with somebody who's been there and done that and been able and can help guide you through the steps. I love meeting you all who watch the channel and having time to spend with you all, spending 5 hours in a week with you all, and being able to walk you through how to actually scale without fear and scale with confidence, because you know your numbers. And that's when marketing gets fun. It's kind of like why all of us got into marketing, is to be able to do this fun stuff where we're making cool offers and creating content and building funnels and telling stories. But none of that can happen if you don't understand your unit economics and your 45-second story at a very deep level, which is what we do on that call. And we even do a 90-day P&L, so that way I can kind of help you understand what growth looks like as you scale your Shopify store and what it's going to take, from pricing to offers. And your 45-second story is my favorite part, because we go from taking people to unaware all the way to deal ready and to present your offer in 45 seconds, so you can make content that does just that. So if you were interested in that, go ahead and hit the link down below. If not, thank you all for watching. Hopefully this video helped you understand a little bit more about cash flow, and kind of I just found, like, listening to a lot of business content and e-com content, I want stuff that helps people to kind of just live in each day and kind of meditating on the principles of e-com, so that you can grow your Shopify store past $1 million, instead of people who are just telling you, like, taking just such wild, risky bets of like just try this ad strategy and then hit the gas, and if it works, it works, and $2 a day here, $2 a day there, when people don't actually take time to teach you the fundamentals in like the same way they do with like sports YouTube channels, and they're teaching like dribbling and stuff like that. These people are teaching full court shots, and I want to stop that. So thanks all for watching. Once again, my name is Joe Chavez, in the #1 place for breaking your first million on Shopify. Thanks for rocking with me, guys, and don't forget, make sure to work to live instead of just living to work. Peace.